Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on where you are. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day, a good morning. Um, I was been checking in, and we're doing some more clearing around the seals and um, just really making sure that our energetic light bodies are as clear as possible from these seals. I think they'll create some massive energetic shifts within us. And again, I recommend listening to these multiple times, or even just taking the information. And if you already do some kind of similar work or practice, to set the intention to clear any seals specifically in your own light body. So that being said, we will go ahead and get started. So we create a 33-dimensional shield of living rainbow plasma light around myself and around everyone who is listening today and will listen in the future. And we extend this shield around all of our living spaces, our vehicles, our animals, children, and other family and friends, so that they're all encased within this 33-dimensional shield of living rainbow plasma light. And we call in the one true living God, that which created us, created life, and continues to be life and to remind us to live. We connect with the living Holy Mother Ark and the living Holy Father Ark as the foundation of our inner kingdoms, and they cover us and provide for us, and they assist us on this journey and this path. And we connect with the living solar Christ Sophia, the path of true love that we all choose to walk. And we connect with our living light bodies. And we connect with all the divine beings of living light who are in pure devotion to the one true living God. So these are the angelics that are in pure devotion, the star seeds that are in pure devotion, the elementals that are in pure devotion, our guides and guardians, and our extended family who are in pure devotion to the one true living God. And they join us in this space, and it's now sealed. And we open the collective fields, opening up into everyone's light bodies who are listening today and will listen to in the future, with the intention of removing these seals. And so we start again with the top of the skull on the left side. There's still some more seals that are in this part of the body, so blocking our crown. They often create frequency nets, so the communication is often unclear, and so they're pulling out this plug through everyone's crown, specifically around the left side. And as that clears, I feel a lot like just a lot of repressed um, energy. So like the repressed throat, um, all the things that we swallow and hold inside, like um, this seal has been forcing and maintaining all of that down, which all of everything we hold in lowers our frequency, lowers our vibration. So just, allow anything to come up, allow yourself to release any anger, any frustration, any bitterness, any tears, anything that you have swallowed and repressed because it wasn't safe. It wasn't, good girls or good boys don't do those things. So everywhere that you have stuffed things down, allow them to come up. If you need to scream into a pillow, scream into a pillow. If you need to kind of punch your bed, like, get that energy out of your body, out of your system. Oh, and it's even I'm feeling like a repression of life, of like just a dulling of your true self, like repressing this greatness within you that is meant to expand out. Like people have been repressing that and holding that in, like holding yourself so small and so contained, like that the energy is just like it's really hard to hold it in when what you really want to do and what you're really meant to do is expand. So allow yourself to expand and open as this seal pulls out of you. So again, it's like this plug, and this frequency field that just keeps it creates static within your life. So it feels like there were a few that were um, more deeply embedded than from last week. Um, so all of your teams are going in, and they're going in really deep to pull out these plugs. So it might be a little intense, and it's really um, they're having to get in there really deep. So just sit with that feeling for a moment. Some of these are embedded really, really deeply. Okay. So I feel like it's activating and clearing around the third eyes, the physical eyes and the third eye. Um, so these have been also affecting your vision. And so now we're going to flush around the crown. Okay, so now we're going to harmonize the inner sight with the higher frequencies, because right now it still feels like there's like things have shifted with the sight, but it's still a little blurry. So they're helping to harmonize the frequencies with the higher realms and your own inner vision. Okay, just a little bit more. Okay, it's still kind of like it's going to take a little bit of time for all of that to recalibrate. So like right now, um, it's like there's brighter, sharper colors, and then you can like see the outline of things within the colors, and so those images will start to get sharper and clearer over the next few days to a couple weeks. Um, there's I think a few that still have a little bit of fear around seeing, so it'll take a little bit longer. So if you have any of that fear around seeing in the higher dimensions and higher frequencies, really work on that fear. If you need help clearing anything, just let me know. All right, so now we're going to move to the left side of the neck and the lymphatic system. Um, Interesting. I like what I saw. And again, this is tied to the vision as well. Um, so it's blocking like the diamond light body from being fully active. Like that's at least what I'm picking up. I know that there may be some different um, views of what everything means, but that's what popped into my vision. So they're clearing out, they being our guides, the star seeds that do this kind of work are working around our neck areas. So again, this is creating frequency blocks around our throats, around our messaging, what we're here to say, how we say it, how it comes out. So they're clearing those. And this is even affecting some of the blood pressure because we've got all the arteries and stuff within our neck. So like that's pumping oxygen to our brains, pumping blood. So as these clear, our bodies will start to have less of that pressure from blood, from the blood buildup, from the way and the intensity that it has to pump to work through that. So, you might notice some shifts there. And I'm seeing it's not a very clear vision, but it was like maybe some French nobility put these seals in as a way to control people. And this is even like causes that kind of tied to the vampirism of like, giving your blood, giving your neck, to be fed off of. So they're clearing a lot of that, a lot of places where you allow others to take from you, where you're self-sabotaging, putting others above you, that comparison. So all that is dropping out as these seals clear. Again, going into the lymphatic system, which again affects blood pressure, affects infection in the body. So clearing that out. So we're going to create or initiate a flush and a clearing through this area, through the throat. And even within, I feel this more for like the masculine, but even like lifetimes where like women have been men, so just like, anything that's on the feminine side, whatever lifetimes you've been, men have been women, we have a lot of this trauma. We've been everything, we all share these traumas. It's not, but like it's what I'm seeing around the neck is, these were also put in place at the gallows when they were hung, and like the snapping of their neck. So all of that affects the throat, affects your ability to speak, even affecting your ability to be fully alive, because life was taken from you. And so they're flushing out the lymphatic system, and they're going through everywhere that we have lymphatic systems or glands within us, and clearing that, because again, the lymphatic system can't clear on its own. It needs movement, it needs like jumping, it needs massage, it needs things to help move that out. So they're flushing and moving that. Okay, and so we're now moving to the alta major, which is where the neck rests on top of the spine. And this is the hypothalamus, the top left shoulder. And again, like as these are clearing, I feel pressure up in the head. So again, it's like this energy within us is trying to rise, but it hits all of these levels and these points, and it can't move, it can't communicate. So that we have that pressure buildup within us. So high blood pressure, dizziness, anything that's really affecting even the brain fog. All of that is the activation of all these seals all through here. And this one has ties to ancient Egypt. And again, it was a means to control us, to stop us from speaking our truth, stopping us from accessing our higher awareness, our full knowledge, our full connection to God. So all of that they're clearing that. And I see with this a lot of the servants that were buried alive with the kings and queens that they served. And so like I see them going to their death. So it seems to have some connection with that. And so some of that is also like one of the other things that we're going to be clearing is this cell death program. So it's all these places where, because we have these seals within us and we can't rise to our fullest, or haven't been able to rise to our fullest organic frequency, we're in this death programming. We've been marched off to death. We've been killed. We've been killed for speaking our truth. We've been killed for being our true authentic self. So there's so much of this death programming within our cellular memory. So we're going to clear all that death programming now through the cellular structure. So everywhere that this cellular death gets activated, when we start rising and start having our own voice, like this happens like in our late teens, early 20s, as we're fully starting to come online. We're no longer just the children of our parents. We are in school. We've gone through school. We're starting our careers. We're starting our path, and we're starting to open up. And it's like, as soon as we do, it's like all these things get activated, and it's this slow march to death of the same thing day after day. We're not living our fullest expression. And our fullest expression is that expression of the life codes that we hold. So they're clearing all that cellular death programming, removing it from the DNA, and collapsing out all the places where false synthetic beings are pulling and receiving our life so that they can live, and they live these great, extravagant, wonderful lives at the expense of others. So anywhere that we are hooked in and being drained and being pulled from, and where our life force energy is being constantly drained through these cellular death programs, we're breaking all of those cords, all of those hook-ins, all of those programs where it feeds our energy to others. So I see lavender tones, like it's almost a lavender pink white tone starting to move through the body and cleanse and rejuvenate the body. And finally, we're going to clear the Zeta seals, which are these fourth dimensional frequency fences that are plugged into us around the heart complex, so the whole heart, to stop the fourth strand of our DNA from fully activating, which connects us to our higher mind, so that the super mind that is God, that is connected directly to God and the messages. So that's where we're receiving downloads. So like if you're not fully receiving downloads yet, or you're sometimes getting that, and you can feel like, oh, I know it's there, I know I'm receiving something, but it's not clear. You've got that frequency fence of these Zeta seals in the fourth dimension that are blocking that full access, or you're having to work so hard to move around the seals and pull information in, instead of it being this constant flow and source of energy and inspiration and awareness. So they're going into the fourth dimensional aspect of our hearts within our bodies, and they're pulling out these Zeta seals. And these seals also keep us in that reincarnation loop, where I think that there's a lot of times where we've actually learned our lessons, but there's something that forces us to loop back into reincarnation, which then sometimes can open us to more karmic consequences that we then have to learn, or it's, again, we may go onto the path of trying to save other people, or we go onto the path of like, I'm done, I've been here, I've done it, I don't know why I'm back, and you kind of give up on life. So they're clearing all of those frequency distortions within your light body and within your physical body. And this seal, it's like, I feel it come, it's like up underneath my left breast, like right around here, and it kind of loops back and hooks in. So they're extracting that for people who have that hook. and allowing it to pull out and clear. Okay, so now they're going to start to tune our brains, our nervous system, and our heart. So just going through the body and harmonizing us to the higher dimensions and frequencies, into our heart space through our nervous system, calming the nervous system. And then they're going to flush, clearing anything, and then they're going to reharmonize. And then they're going to check if there's any other hooks, any other seals in this area. So flushing out around the physical heart and then the spiritual heart. And then they're pulling some from back behind the shoulder blade. So it's, again, areas where our shoulders, our wings are trapped and hooked into something that frays the frequency of our wings. So it's like every time they're starting to activate, because there's been a lot of healing around wings, and then it's like we're still stuck. So clearing the frequency fences around our wings, underneath our shoulder blades, pulling out all the seals, all the little seals, all the little hooks. And so they're flushing through that area, clearing out any debris, working on stretching and healing the muscular structure around our shoulders and around our hearts. So all the little minute muscles that work that we forget about. And then again, we're going to go back to harmonize between our brains, our hearts, between heaven and earth. And as this is harmonizing, I see a lot of New World Order, AI, military kind of robotic, artificial life, the super soldier kind of energy falling out, collapsing out of our fields, out of our systems, out of our bodies, out of our light bodies and our energetic bodies. And clearing out devil, Satan, Marduk, Basmet that have morphed into artificial AI structures to preserve themselves because they were I think there was another time in our past where we came really close to clearing things, and they did things to morph and keep themselves in place. So that energy is dropping out, falling out. We're clearing those timelines. Creating harmony, imprinting harmony, imprinting love, imprinting divine connection, divine alignment, divine messaging, activating our super consciousness and connecting that into our heart. And putting things in place so that this new frequency upgrade cannot be messed with. So I see a lot of light energy holding this frequency in place around us. And I feel the whole nervous system all the way down to the small of my back starting to calm and flush, calm and flush. And feeling this energy move from above the head all the way through our feet into our grounding platform. Again, flushing out. So we're calling in the water elementals to move through our shoulders, through our shoulder blades, through all of the muscles, rehydrating the muscles in those areas, bringing life force energy back into those areas. Make sure when you're done listening to this that you drink some water to help physically flush your body. Okay, we're going to seal up. We're sealing up into the living God seal. And as we're sealing up, I see some religious dogma falling out. So really like priests that controlled and manipulated and fed lies to people, that energy is falling out as we seal up now in God's pure harmony, God's pure light, God's pure essence. And the third eye is really activated as we seal. And then we ground down. We ground this energy into our roots and into our grounding platforms. All work done, and so it is, and so it must be, and it cannot be undone except through the highest decrees of God. So thank you. I hope these are helpful. Again, if anything specific is coming up, if you need some work around this, just let me know. I can send you a link to schedule. And I will see you next week, and I'll be obviously posting in the group. So have a wonderful day. Bye.